In the tapestry of time, there exist individuals who defy its usual constraints, living not just years, but entire eras. Today, we delve into the extraordinary lives of the world's longest living people. Number 10. Delphia Welford. Delphia Welford claimed to have been born on 9 September 1881. However, the research conducted by the Gerontology Research Group between the years 2016-2023 determined that she was actually born in 1875, and that she was born in Okolona, Mississippi, USA. Welford's parents were Richard and Hetty Welford. The family moved to Humboldt, Gibson, Tennessee when she was still a child. She had one son, Leo Mathis, in the late 1890s. Welford never married and spent the rest of her life in Humboldt. She was a homemaker and a member of the Lane Chapel CME Church. Welford died at Parkview Manor Health Care Center in Humboldt, Tennessee, USA, on 14 November 1992, at the age of 117 years, 66 days. Number 9. Chio Miyako. Chio Miyako was a validated Japanese supercentenarian who was the oldest living person in the world since 21 April 2018. She is currently the 9th oldest validated person ever, and the 3rd oldest Japanese person ever, behind Kane Tanaka and Nabi Tajima. Miyako was born on 2 May 1901 in the town of Yuasa, in the Wakayama Prefecture, Japan, as the 4th of 5 children. While her town was known for growing mandarin oranges, her parents owned a paper store. Due to her older siblings all dying at a young age, she was raised as the oldest child of the family, where she had a younger brother. After her husband's death in 1951, Miyako and her 2 children moved back in with her parents. Her son later received a PhD from the University of Michigan and taught as a professor at the University of Tokyo, but died in 1974 at the age of 52. 10 years later, Miyako's daughter also died aged 57. Miyako died in Nishiku, Yokohama, Kanagawa Prefecture, on 22 July 2018, at the age of 117 years, 81 days. Number 8. Emma Marano. Emma Martina Lugia Marano Martinuzzi was an Italian supercentenarian, believed to have been the oldest validated living person in the world, following the death of American Susanna Mushet Jones on 12 May 2016. Until her own death on 15 April 2017. She was the last known surviving validated person born in the 1800s, and one of the last 3 born in the 19th century. She was the oldest living person in Italy and Europe since the death of Maria Redaelli on 2 April 2013. She also holds the title of the oldest validated Italian person ever. She is currently the 8th oldest validated person ever. Emma Martina Lugia Marano was the eldest of the 5 daughters and 3 sons, children born to Giovanni Marano and Matilde Brisciani, on 29 November 1899 in Civiasco, in the province of Vercelli in Italy. Marano worked in a jute factory until 1954, and then worked as a cook in a kitchen at a boarding school, until retiring in 1974 at the age of 74. Marano died in Verbania, Verbano Cusio Assola, Italy, on 15 April 2017, at the age of 117 years, 137 days. Number 7. Violet Brown. Violet Henrietta was born in the small town of Duanvale, located in Trelawney Parish, Jamaica. Her father, John Gordon Moss, worked as a sugar boiler. Her mother, Elizabeth Moss, was a housekeeper. Violet had 3 other siblings. At one point, she married Augustus Gaynor Brown. The couple had 6 children in total. Violet worked various jobs during her life, including as a domestic helper, farmer, and as a dressmaker, and died in Montego Bay, St. James, Jamaica on 15 September 2017, at the age of 117 years, 189 days. Number 6. Marie-Louise Myler. Marie-Louise Myler is the verified Canadian longevity record holder. After the death of Jean Calment, Marie-Louise became the oldest living person in the world. Marie-Louise is currently ranked as the 6th oldest validated person of all time. Marie-Louise Fabroni Chasse was born in Kamouraska, Quebec in 1880 to fisherman parents. According to her family, she had some Native American ancestry. At the age of 20, she married Etienne Leclerc, another fisherman of her village. After he, 2 of her children and both of her parents died in 1911 and 1912, Myler left 2 of her 4 surviving children in 1913 and moved to the rural Ontario border. She married in 1915 Hector Myler, a Franco-Ontarian woodcutter, and with him, she had another 6 children. She attributed her longevity to hard work, remember the good times of her youth, loved her family, having a good sense of humor, and having good faith to God and Mary. Marie-Louise died at the age of 117 years, 230 days, from a blood clot in East Ferris, Ontario. Number 5. Nabi Tajima. Tajima was born on 4 August 1900 in Iraqi, an area of what was then Wan Village, in the westernmost part of Kikijima Island, Kagoshima Prefecture. In her later life, she lived in Kikai, located on the same island in the prefecture of Kagoshima. On her 117th birthday in 2017, she had 9 children, 28 grandchildren, 58 great-grandchildren, 64 great-great-grandchildren, and 14 great-great-great-grandchildren. Tajima died from natural causes at a hospital in Kikijima, Kagoshima, Japan, on 21 April 2018, at the age of 117 years, 260 days. She is currently the 2nd oldest validated Japanese person ever. Number 4. Lucille Randon. Lucille Randon, also known as Sister Andrée, was a French supercentenarian who, until her death at the age of 118 years, 340 days, was the world's oldest verified living person, following the death of Kane Tanaka of Japan on 19 April 2022. She is the 4th oldest verified person ever, as well as the oldest confirmed survivor of the COVID-19 pandemic. As a young adult, Randon converted to Roman Catholicism and worked as a governess, teacher, nun, and missionary, before retiring at the age of 75 in 1979. She lived in a nursing home in Toulon, France, from 2009 until her death. Number 3. Sarah Noss. Sarah Derrimer Noss was a validated American supercentenarian, who was the oldest living person in the world. From the death of Marie-Louise Myler on 16 April 1998 until her own death on 30 December 1999, at the age of 119 years, 97 days. She is the 3rd oldest validated person in history, behind only Kane Tanaka and Jean Calment. Sarah Derrimer Clark was born in Hollywood, Luzerne County, Pennsylvania, USA, a mining patch community that no longer exists, at a time when the now famous Hollywood, California did not yet exist. She lived much of her life in Allentown, where she brought up her daughter Catherine Sullivan. There was also a history of longevity in her family. Her paternal grandmother lived to the age of 98, and her cousin Minnie Crest, lived to the age of 105. In addition, her daughter Catherine Sullivan lived to the age of 101. She married Abraham Lincoln Noss in 1901. Their only child was Catherine Sullivan. Noss died rather abruptly while sitting in her chair on 3 p.m. of 30 December 1999, caused by natural causes. She died 33 hours before the millennium year 2000 and was survived by 5 generations of descendants. Some of her organs were bequeathed to the New England Centenarian Study, which did an autopsy. Number 2. Kane Tanaka. Kane Tanaka was a Japanese supercentenarian who, at the age of 119 years, 107 days, is the second oldest person in history whose age is validated by the Gerontology Research Group, behind only Jeanne Calment of France, who was over 3 years older than her. At the time of her death, Tanaka was recognized by Guinness World Records as being the oldest validated living person in the world, from the death of 117-year-old Chio Miyako on 22 July 2018 until her own death on 19 April 2022. Since surpassing the final age of Nabi Tajima in September 2020, Tanaka has held the record as the longest-lived Japanese person of all time, whose age is validated by the GRG. In January 2022, Tanaka became only the third validated person on record to reach the age of 119, and the first to do so since Sarah Noss in September 1999. On 10 April 2022, just 9 days before her death, Tanaka surpassed Noss's final age of 119 years, 97 days to become the second oldest validated person in history. Number 1. Jeanne Calment. Jean-Louise Calment was a French supercentenarian and the oldest verified human, with a documented lifespan of 122 years and 164 days. Her longevity attracted media attention and medical studies of her health and lifestyle. She is the only person verified to have reached the age of 120. Calment was born on 21 February 1875 in Arles, Bouches-du-Rhône, Provence. Some of her close family members also had an above-average lifespan, as her older brother, François, lived to the age of 97, her father, Nicolas, who was a shipbuilder, 93, and her mother, Marguerite Gilles, who was from a family of millers. Apocryphal media articles reported varying details, some of them unlikely. One report claimed that Calment recalled selling colored pencils to Van Gogh and seeing the Eiffel Tower being built. Another wrote that she started fencing in 1960, aged 85. Calment reportedly ascribed her longevity and relatively youthful appearance for her age to a diet rich in olive oil. Calment's health presaged her later record. At age 20, incipient cataracts were discovered when she suffered a major episode of conjunctivitis. She married at 21, and her husband's wealth allowed her to live without working. All her life she took care of her skin with olive oil and a puff of powder. At an unspecified time in her youth, she had suffered from migraines. Her husband introduced her to smoking, offering cigarettes after meals, but she did not smoke outside these post-meal occasions. Calment continued smoking in her elderly years until she was 117. At retirement age, she broke her ankle, but before that had never suffered any major injuries. She continued cycling until her 100th birthday. Around age 100, she fractured her leg, but she recovered quickly and was able to walk again. Calment died of unspecified causes on 4 August 1997, around 10 a.m. in her hometown of Arles, France. The New York Times quoted Robin as stating that she had been in good health, though almost blind and deaf, as little as a month before her death. And that concludes our journey through the remarkable lives of the top 10 longest living individuals. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more fascinating content, and join me in celebrating the wisdom and resilience of these extraordinary centenarians. Until next time, stay inspired.